Let's go to South Africa because we can speak to Robyn Porteous, who is a volunteer in the COVID-19 vaccine trials. She joins us now from Johannesburg. Robyn, great to see you looking healthy and smiling, because obviously it must have been a difficult decision considering you were receiving something that had never been used before on a human being, right? What were your thought processes when the possibility of being a trialist came about?
Well, it all actually initially started out of a Twitter argument that I got into. I was advocating the need for us to have local data in vaccine trials. And someone turned around to me and said, well, I'll be sitting and waiting for you to sign up. And I thought, well, if ever I was going to do something like this seems as good a time as any. So I just, throughout this whole pandemic, I think like a lot of people, I felt incredibly helpless. You don't always have endless amounts of money to donate, and you are fairly constricted in terms of, particularly with this case where you're constricted to your home under lockdown. You can't help as many people as you want. So I think out of a need to kind of feel less helpless and also hopefully play a part in something much bigger than just my own life, I decided to sign up and take part as a vaccine trialist.
And so many people will be thanking you. Everybody will be thanking you. Tell us which vaccine, are you allowed to tell us which vaccine you've received? But also, can you talk us through the process? How often were you injected? How often were you checked?
So I'm on the AstraZeneca Oxford University trial. I received 2 vaccine injections. I still don't know whether or not I got the vaccine or I got a placebo. I tend to think that I did get the placebo because I didn't have any side effects or any kind of reaction to the injection at all. But I'm also hoping that I didn't get the placebo, and perhaps it's just, it's something that isn't as scary or doesn't have as negative side effects as people are afraid that it might.
Okay, so the way I understand it is that the one that you took, the Oxford AstraZeneca one, its efficacy was really proven by people who actually got COVID-19 after being injected with either the placebo or the vaccine itself. Do you know of the results of any of your other fellow trialists, or has that all been very private?
So it has been private, particularly with regards to people who are on the trial with me. We were only injected in August and September. So in terms of seeing any kind of results from our trial, it will only be probably towards the middle to end of next year. But we do receive communications from the team who are running the trial, and they did SMS us and let us know that they were seeing positive results both in the UK and Brazil. So I suppose if one needs to boost their morale, that was a pretty good text message to receive.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, there is one sort of proviso that we should add here. If you took Oxford's AstraZeneca vaccine, there is a little bit of confusion about how they presented their results. And in the UK itself, they're thinking that they might have to do some additional testing. But because this really is a segment about how the vaccine is going to be distributed, I want to ask you as a South African how you feel about some of the richest countries in the world buying up millions and millions and millions of doses for themselves.
Being in a developing country, it would not be the first time that something of this nature has happened. This narrative, it's happened repetitively over the course of history. It's also morphed into different variations, such as African bodies being used as slaves in order to build first world country infrastructure. So, that it leaves a nasty taste in one's mouth. And I think that was further fuel to the fire as to why it was that I wanted to take part in the vaccine trial, with the hopes that in some way, shape or form, it enabled the people in my country to have access. And that seems to be, through the COVAX that was spoken about earlier, that seems to be the way that will happen. But, I think if you've got the buying power and you are a first world power, you are going to do what it is you feel you need to protect the people of your country. Although naturally there's an ethical question around, well, what happens to countries who don't have that buying power, and why is there sort of more value placed on first world country lives than on developing countries?
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, Robyn, there is the argument that if just one of us is unsafe, all of us are unsafe. But Robyn, thank you so much indeed for talking us through your experience as a trialist for the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. Take care. Robyn Porteous in Johannesburg.